Stage 5 of the UAE Tour, and once again a day for the sprinters. It's what's drawn an enormous roster of the best quick men on the planet, the fact that we have 4 sprinting days at this race. Well, 2 behind us, this and another still to come, and as you can see, terrain pretty much flat. 2 intermediate sprints along the way. Attempt to break away. Well, it was a high quality one that finally formed when nobody really wanted to take on the distance, especially with temperatures hovering around 31 degrees. Hot then, not too much wind, particularly at the start. It did blow up later on in the day, and that was to cause some worriment, I can tell you. Probably the calmest start that we've had. We had initially 4 riders up the road, one of whom, Thomas de Gendt, known for his dogged determination, and he was hoping that Joe Cherney and indeed Louis Vervaeke of Soudal Quickstep would stay with him. Likewise AG2R Citroen's Bouchard, a man for the mountains, as is this man, Remco Evenepoel. Well, de Gendt had taken 3 bonus seconds. Merlier was up for points, suddenly realised Evenepoel was on his wheel, hit the brakes at just the right time, and Evenepoel extends his lead in the overall classification by 2 precious seconds, courtesy of this intermediate. Well, there were others that decided that they might just roll the dice, but quite frankly, it was a tough game to play out there. Zuccarato thinking of tagging Thomas de Gendt, who himself would be wound in inevitably by the chase. Well, the peloton absorbed again with just about 20 kilometres to go. The wind, though, was picking up as we headed towards the coast, and there was an opportunity to cause some stress amongst the sprinters' teams. Well, if you're a strong sprinter, this is your kind of terrain, and in fact splits were to happen, and it meant that a lot of quick men were trying to chase back in and make sure that they stayed up front. Emergency measures as well for Luke Plapp of Ineos Grenadiers. He found himself in the wrong part of the road. Did manage to help to drive this all back together, and inevitably we were heading for a grandstand finale for the fast men. As we met the coast, it was roundabouts that were going to be the issue. These 2 groups did come back together, and then of course started to fracture again. Lucas Plapp, too much work today? Well, seeing the gap between himself and Evenepoel extended up front, finally they emerged just in time to take on a sequence of roundabouts that generally tend to squeeze the peloton and make life difficult for those who find themselves mid-pack. Mark Cavendish in a good place at this moment. Hayes Ball just trying to guide him through. Biggest strength seemed to be at the disposal of Caleb Ewan. Lotto Destiny, even with Thomas de Gendt getting involved. Bit of a squeeze with Jensen Plowright having to bounce upon the curves for Alpecin de Koenig. De Maar had ambition, so did all of the fast men, but Jayco, and indeed that man Dylan Groenewegen, had great ideas. This move from the centre of the road over to the left hand side, just tagging on, if you like, on Sam Bennett's wheel, and then when Groenewegen lit up, there was no catching him. Nearest man to him was coming up fast on the barriers, Gaviria. Sam Bennett just didn't have the drive once released to take the win. Down to the power in the end of Dylan Groenewegen, who made it count. Brilliant work by Team Jayco Alula, but it was the power of the man that crushed all opposition. Delighted to take the win on what's rapidly becoming referred to as the Sprinters World Championships here. The fast men get one more chance tomorrow. Final day will be for the mountain men and the title. But what a finish we had here. Very difficult to marshal. A narrow-ish road compared to those we've enjoyed elsewhere. Finishing on the right-hand side of the road, away from the pack. Tim Merlier doing enough to move back into the green jersey. Groenewegen taking it ahead of Gaviria, Bennett, Lipens, Merlier on the other side of the road, finishing in 5th place, ahead of Sam Welsford, Milano, Cavendish, Coy and De Maar. That's quite a roster. Our leader is Evenepoel by an enhanced margin overall. He leads the race by 9 seconds from Lucas Plapp, Pale Bilbao by 13, the rest of the field over a minute down. And so the last day for the sprinters, the penultimate stage of this great race as we head to the Abu Dhabi Breakwater. That's for us tomorrow. The intermediate sprint's placed a little bit later in the day. So the quick men, one last chance for them, and then we climb to Jabal Hafit to find our champion here at the UAE Tour. It's been an amazing race so far. Every day has been magical. We're hoping for more of the same tomorrow.